I'm going to model for you how to do a close read again. I'm going to do Uncle Robert, and you are going to do 2 on your own. Remember that close reading is just diving a little bit deeper into the text. It is our second read. I'm actually going to read this one more time quickly just to kind of remember what this was about, and then I'm going to jump back into it to kind of unpack some things and make some annotations or notes. Uncle Robert. Uncle Robert has moved to New York City. I hear him taking the stairs 2 at a time, and then he is at our door, knocking loud until our mother opens it. Curlers in her hair, robe pulled close, whispering, "It's almost midnight. Don't you wake my children." But we are already awake, all 4 of us smiling and jumping around my uncle. "What'd you bring me?" Our mama shushes us, says, "It's too late for presents and the like." But we want presents and the like. And she, too, is smiling now, happy to see her baby brother who lives all the way over in far Rockaway, where the ocean is right there if you look out your window. Robert opens his hand to reveal a pair of silver earrings, says to my sister, "This is a gift for how smart you are." I want to be smart like Dell. I want someone to hand me a silver and gold, just because my brain clicks into thinking whenever it needs to. But I am not smart like Dell. So I watch her press the silver moons into her ears. I say, "I know a girl 10 times smarter than her. She gets diamonds every time she gets 100 on a test." And Robert looks at me, his dark eyes smiling, asks, "Is that something you made up or something real?" In my own head, it's real as anything. In my head, all kinds of people are doing all kinds of things. I want to tell him this, that the world we're living in, right here in Brownsville, isn't the only place. But now my brothers are asking, "What'd you bring me?" And my uncle is pulling gifts from his pockets, from his leather briefcase, from inside his socks. He hands my mother a record, a small 45 James Brown, who none of us like because he screams when he sings. But my mother puts it on the record player, turned way down low, and then even us kids are dancing around. Robert showing us the steps he learned at the far Rockaway parties. His feet are magic, and we all try to slide across the floor like he does, our own feet, again and again, betraying us. "Teach us, Robert," we keep saying. "Teach us." All right, so now I'm going to go back up to the beginning of the text. So I don't want to highlight everything in this text. I just want to pull out some things that I think are really important. So as I was reading, I saw some things that were interesting. So I'm going to highlight this. I want to be smart like Dell. I want someone to hand me silver and gold just because my brain clicks into thinking whenever it needs to, but I'm not smart like Dell. So in these lines, I kind of see what the poet is thinking. I've highlighted what the speaker says she wants, what she believes about herself, and what she says to her uncle. And then the phrase down here, I'm going to highlight this. Oh, and I also want to make sure that I'm going over here and I'm writing some notes. So I'm going to put my notes right next to where I highlighted. So let me just back up a little bit. So I'm going to write, "This shows what the poet is thinking." And I put my annotation right next to where I highlighted. Okay, so I know a girl 10 times smarter than her. So this is in italics because Jacqueline Woodson is saying it. And it tells me that, let me put some notes down here. the author in italics because let's shorten it. It's in italics because the author is saying this. So this is coming out of her mouth. So she's either saying or, no, she is saying, because Uncle Robert down here is asking if it's something that he made up. So she is saying this out loud. And again, I put my annotation right next to my highlight. So I'm wondering, why did the poet include these details? Why did Jacqueline Woodson talk about Dell, how she wants to be smarter, talk about how her brain clicks. She wants this because her brain will click into thinking whenever it needs to, but she's not smart like Dell. How come she included those details? So I kind of notice that Woodson admits that she wishes she would get attention for being smart, just like her sister. And she does not believe she's smart, right? She says, I am not smart like Dell. So I'm going to put that under here as well. So Woodson wishes she was the one getting the attention, right? Because the uncle is giving her the earrings, the silver and gold earrings, and she wishes that she were her sister. So she wants the attention. She doesn't believe she is smart. And then when she says, I know a girl 10 times smarter than her, she gets diamonds every time she gets 100 on a test. And her uncle's kind of asking her, is that real? Or did you make that up? Because getting diamonds every time you get 100, that's crazy. He's never heard of such a thing. So that kind of shows me that she wants to point out to her uncle that there are other people that are smarter than her sister. So her sister is not the end all be all. There's people that are smarter. So we can kind of infer that maybe Woodson is jealous of her sister. So from these details, I can see that Woodson believes her life would be better if she were smart like her sister, Dell. And she kind of explains part of her motivation to cope by making up stories, right? Because the uncle is saying, is that something that you made up or something real? And she says, in my own head, it's real as anything. But we can kind of figure out that she made that up. So I have highlighted things that I thought that were important to understanding this poem, and I have annotated or taken notes in the right-hand side, right next to where I highlighted the part that I'm talking about. You are going to read and annotate wishes, so you can highlight like I have, and annotate over here. And then you are going to read and annotate believing. So highlight in the text and make your annotation on the side.